right, Colton, what are we doing here? What is this? Let's get some introductions in.
Thank you.
Names, possibly.
Names would be good.
Yeah. What's your name and what are we doing here?
My name is Colton. I am a coffee professional. I'm also a manager at a coffee roastery,
Which is where we're at right now.
which is where we're at
Mhm.
in our
Tell
beautiful,
by the roasters.
our beautiful city of Temecula, California.
That's right.
So let's see. I manage a coffee roastery, and I also run my business, Mountains to Waves, out of here as well.
I'll put the handle.
For all the people that already know me,
Mm-hmm.
shout out to you guys. You're the ones that make this happen. Blessed by you guys.
That's right. Yeah. That's absolutely right. We're probably not here without our customers. So shout out to everybody that's helped us in our coffee journey, I'd say. So I work here at the roastery with Colton. He technically hired me, and we've known each other, like a year and a half?
Year
Almost
and a half.
2 years?
Good year and a half.
Yeah.
It's flown by.
Good year and a half, good 2 years. So obviously we work a lot with coffee. We're having our coffee here that we roast here. And our life is revolved around coffee now. So that's why we decided to start a podcast, not only revolving around coffee, but just so people that we know, people that may find us out or found out about us, people that discover us, they could kind of get an insight of who we are. And I don't know, this is kind of like a little hobby thing that we've talked about before, I think, too.
Yeah.
So excited really to get into this podcasting world and just kind of share us with you guys. So where are you at with like coffee right now? Where would you say like your coffee journey maybe has begun and where it's at currently?
Oh man, let's see. Where did it begin? I think along the lines of almost everybody that's going to relate. I started drinking just your normal coffee house coffee. Have that be Folgers or Farmer Brothers or any of your generic coffee, I guess. I started drinking that maybe a little after high school.
Yeah.
I thought I knew coffee.
Yeah, I think we all think we know coffee in some way.
Starbucks, Frappuccinos, all that good stuff. You think you're a coffee aficionado until you really get into coffee. So when I say really get into coffee, I didn't really get into coffee until I started working here at the roastery.
Yeah.
So I started working here just packing coffee. And I was like, oh, coffee's coffee, right?
So you drank coffee before you started at the roastery?
Oh, yeah. Big time. I mean, coffee was, your everyday.
That's true.
Maybe 2 or 3 times a day.
I would say most of like the masses, coffee is like kind of your starting point too. I'd say somewhat like an adulthood type of like, oh yeah, I'm an adult. I work 9 to 5. I got to drink some coffee.
Oh yeah. So I guess starting to work here, packing coffee, started drinking more coffee, right? Here we have over 40 different origins that we get to drink. So I really tested myself to start drinking black coffee and learn like the notes, because I was like, oh, coffee has tasting notes. I think it all tastes the same, but let's see. So I started developing my palate, started learning about coffee, started realizing, oh, there's something to this. There is a specialty grade of coffee that I'm missing out on.
Yeah.
It's not just this generic store-bought coffee. There's a whole nother side of coffee itself. So started experimenting more, started drinking more coffee, and just really like started loving the notes and starting loving like lighter roast and all that stuff. So, and we'll talk more about this later in our stories and all that stuff. But
sure.
I guess just getting more into coffee and where I'm at right now, that's kind of what developed. As my palate developed, I started enjoying different types of coffee, and now I would say that I'm like a coffee geek.
Yeah.
In a sense of I'm very picky now.
Right.
I like my specialty light roast coffees that have the funky notes, have it be fruity, sweet. That's the stuff I look for now. I have my own coffee bar at home that I experiment at always trying stuff here at work, all that stuff. So.
As I'd say, like most of everybody that we work with does
Yeah.
have their own kind of coffee bar. Because when you work at a roastery, it's almost impossible not to be a coffee snob anymore.
Right.
And I say that with love, because being a coffee snob is like being a snob about like the type of meat or like the type of like, say, grass-fed to like non-grass-fed. That's the kind of snobbery I think it can equate to.
Yeah, when you start, consuming it, especially on the level that we consume it, and the business that you're in, you just realize like, oh,
there's better coffee.
There's quality here that I'm missing out on.
Yeah. So for me, I've always kind of, especially when I started working like down to the nitty gritty of like a career, I always told myself I don't want to drink coffee, because I've had it when I was a kid. And when I say I had it as a kid, in very like minimal quantities, just because our culture has done that.
Right.
But from childhood to, like I said, like after college, I never drank coffee just because I was always around people drinking it. So it's like, it's nothing special to, it wasn't, at least for me, like when I was actually able to like, oh yeah, I could go out and get my own coffee and just like have a cup of coffee if I wanted to. It was never like that for me. But eventually I started drinking it. I don't remember at the time like when I started drinking it. Maybe because my wife Lindsay, who is co-owner of our coffee shop, she started working Lost Woods Coffee. She started working at Starbucks.
Yeah.
So once that happened, coffee ended up just being our life, just based off of her employment with Starbucks. That I started, oh yeah, coffee's good. I could use it to, I don't know, get a little kick in the morning. And it was only that up until like maybe recently, actually when I started working here, that, oh, you could have a cup of coffee in the morning and maybe in the afternoon. Oh yeah, nighttime coffee is pretty good too.
Why not?
And yeah, the taste matters when you have that much cup of coffee.
Yeah.
So how long would you say, like, from the time that you started drinking coffee until now, how long has it been, you think?
Good coffee? Third wave coffee?
Let's say from the moment that you just consistently started drinking coffee, whether it was quality coffee or not.
So I had college, which I was drinking probably just a cup a day, right?
Yeah.
After college, I was working more, started going 2 cups a day. And this is all within maybe the past 10 years. So college was the first 3. Started working maybe into the next like 3 to 5 years. I started consuming like 2 cups a day, which was still generic store-bought coffee. I didn't really know anything coffee yet.
Yeah.
But then starting to work here, which is now 3.5 years ago, is where I'd probably say that I really started drinking coffee and knowing coffee and learning coffee.
And it's not only what I imagine this would be, or like a drip coffee or like a pour over. We drink all types of coffee here, right? Whether it's like cold brew, lattes, pour overs, so on and so forth. Is there any coffee that you haven't tried that you maybe want to like experiment with? Because I have a few.
Let's see, ones that I haven't tried. I think there's just a lot of different processing with coffee that's going on right now. We got a lot of farmers that are processing their coffee in different types of like berry juices or honey or all that stuff. That's the type of stuff that I'm seeking out now that I haven't really tried.
Interesting.
I've tried a few, and they're very good. Like, I think not so long ago, I had one that was fermented in strawberry juice, and that was really good. So, but other than that, I don't think so. What about you?
So, very, very, like, naively, I always think a latte is a latte if it has milk in it, which is, I know it's not. I know there's like different types of like specifics when it comes to like the amount of milk you use compared to the amount of espresso you use. To me, I don't know the difference between any of those. I guess that's kind of like what I'm trying to figure out right now, because I couldn't even tell you the names. I just know a latte for what it is. And for me, it's just milk and espresso. But right now, I'm kind of like, I'm kind of in the mode to find out what is what as far as like the amount of milk, the type of milk, meaning like foam or non-foam or just standard milk.
Right. So like lattes, cortados, flat whites, cappuccinos. It's like it
All
can all
that.
get so confusing,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
So that's what you're trying to learn.
Right. That's what I'm trying to help, or that's what I'm trying to understand better is like the differences of milk to espresso.
Yeah.
Not that, I mean, again, it's just for my knowledge and my knowledge
Yeah.
alone. It probably won't, or maybe it will. Maybe it'll lead to like, oh yeah, I do have a preference of like what I prefer.
Right.
But right now it's just like kind of knowledge based. Like, oh yeah, I want to know the difference, and then maybe experiment with the different types of
Right.
lattes is what I'm going to name it.
Right.
That's where I'm at right now, at least.
Okay. And in the coffee world, it's endless.
Yeah.
You I don't think you can ever, you know, if you love coffee, you're always going to find new ways to enjoy it.
Yeah, you're right. I don't want to call them fads, but there's definitely fads when it comes to, especially not so much anymore, but when I was in like the realm of Starbucks, like in the infancy of my coffee experiences, there was all types of stuff I was trying as far as coffee goes, which now to me it doesn't almost seem like it's actually coffee. It's just like sugar with a little
It's like
bit
a
of
dessert.
coffee. Yeah,
it's dessert. Really, let's be honest.
which is another thing that I think is good for us and why we're starting this podcast, because some of our customers don't know coffee for what coffee is. They're probably still in the stages of like Folgers coffee. Actually, in fact, I know somebody that is still in the stages of Folgers coffee because they commented on a post I did on Facebook in regards to something I posted about our coffee shop. Like, nah, I prefer Folgers coffee still.
Right.
Like, okay. Well,
which
to each their own,
a lot of people do.
Yeah.
Until you really get into it.
But yeah, I mean, that's where we are with like our coffee journey and where it could progress. As we both know, coffee is endless. There's so many things to discover as far as coffee goes, and we're part of that journey. We're here for it because that's pretty much our business. It's our life. We do a lot of coffee, and we love it.
Yeah. We roast. We brew. We enjoy.
Yeah.
I know we both spend our weekends going to coffee shops and enjoying with our families.
Yeah, so. And then we'll shout out some coffee shops. I think I'd like to shout out some coffee shops like I thoroughly enjoy. If you're in our area, or maybe if we ever travel down the road and we just visit some coffee shops, we'll shout them out. Yeah. Especially if we love them, because there's been coffee shops that I don't necessarily care for, but I would never say that here. But coffee shops that we love and we've had good experiences with. We just went to one recently. Yeah. We'll shout them out.
Which one?
Well, we went to
future. We'll save them for future.
We'll save them for future, but we did like a cupping in San Diego, not too far from where we live, and we had I enjoyed this coffee shop. We'll talk about it later, but
for sure,
it was good to me. Yeah. Again, had a latte.
Awesome latte.
It was awesome. So.
There's just people that are doing it right and they understand coffee.
That's exactly right. Yeah, people that do it right, and you could tell when a coffee shop actually cares for the product that they're like shelling out, opposed to just starting like something, right?
Right.
Because we ran into those. At least I have. I ran into coffee shops that they're just selling coffee because coffee, there's a market for it. They don't necessarily know or have the love for it, which is unfortunate because coffee. There's a lot of things you could love about coffee and a lot of ways you can love coffee.
So. Right. Yeah. And I like to pay respect to people that are doing it right. Like serving good coffee. They really got dialed. And for me, I mean, especially in, I guess I could say, this expensive economy that we live in, when you go to a coffee shop, and you're spending over $5 a drink now, it should taste good. Right?
I agree.
And people should not only be serving, the drink that's good, but also like having that culture around it,
right?
That friendly environment,
right?
Stuff we look for. So usually if I go to a coffee shop, I don't have a good experience or the drink was bad, I usually give them a second try if need be. But after that, I'll probably question myself.
I don't tend to be that nice. I kind of like if I have a bad experience, and this may be like a fault of my own, or maybe like just like a personal like, hey, don't do that. I tend not to go back. I don't even give him a second chance. And maybe I should. Maybe if somebody was just having a bad day, or maybe
Right.
that day was just like off for that company.
Right.
So yeah, maybe I should change that about myself. Maybe I should give them a second chance if I ever have like a bad experience. But I don't think I would ever. I don't think I would ever mention, unless it was like very terribly bad.
Yeah.
I don't think I would ever mention any of my bad experiences.
Nah.
At least on here.
Yeah.
Maybe like personally.
Maybe
Yeah.
we will.
But
we'll see.
yeah.
Well, let me ask you a question.
Sure.
Outside of coffee, outside of this place, outside of our friendship, who is Ed?
Oh yeah, good question. Ed, there's not much to Ed, honestly.
Yeah.
Ed is somebody. If I could pinpoint like something about myself, and I think Lindsay would attest to this. Again, Lindsay's my wife. He just likes to be into something new, whether it's like a hobby or like a skill, or just like tackling on like projects.
Yeah.
For some reason or another, I tend to just like go for it, and I try to be like as good as I can with it, without really expectations of it going anywhere.
Right.
Ed is somebody that likes to take on new things and try new things, even if I'm gonna fail at it, and I know that I could possibly fail at it, like a bigger chance than like other things I could try. I'll still like try it.
Right.
So that's kind of like me in a nutshell. There's other things I could talk to, like really like I'd like to say, I think we all like to say like we're a good family man, which I think I am, and I'm a good dad.
He is. He's a good dad.
Which we both are. We're both dads.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's just like I like to explore. I mean, I have like a very I have a mind state of like of exploring and like just trying new things, and I'm not scared to do that.
Yeah.
And I'm also a people person. I'd like to think.
Right.
But yeah, that's kind of like me in a nutshell. Well, my question is, who is Colton Johnstone?
Colton Johnstone, the complicated but simple man, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I'm on the same lines. I like to try new things. I guess you can call me I guess I'm an entrepreneur. And I guess you could probably see that from what you know of me. I always have ideas.
Yeah.
I probably have, books worth of ideas in the back of my head just stored up.
You're no shortage of ideas, I found out.
Yeah. My biggest thing is I can start things, but I need good people behind me to push me to keep going, or I need a team behind me that's, stuff that they can help me out, finish. So I think that's why me and you built such a strong bond, is because we connect in that way, not only for business, but also just in life.
Yeah.
So if in business, we pick each other up, we motivate each other, we make sure we're doing good and we're successful. And then just in life in general, me and you have had talk about just being dads or being husbands, and it seems like we always connect, and it seems like we're always able to like motivate each other.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. And which we'll talk about a lot of that too in this podcast. Because coffee, life, all of it kind of just like mixes in with each other. So we'll just kind of let this happen organically and just see where it takes us. But that's kind of who I am. Also just like simply, if you want to I'm a family man, like you said. I have 2 daughters. Which are great. They're 4 and 2.
Yeah.
I have an awesome wife that's my support. Her name's Brittany. Shout out, babe. Love you. And other than that, coffee family. I like adventure, just like the next guy, so.
Yeah, you're absolutely right on all of those. I think we get along well is because we have so much in common, like both dads. I think I'm using this term right. Both girl dads. Yeah.
Yeah. Kobe.
Kobe, R.I.P.
Yeah.
Both girl dads, and they just happen to be close to the same age, or if not the same age, I think. And we kind of have the same kind of values as far as like who we are as far as like a husband goes, who we are as far as a dad goes, who we are as far as like work ethic goes, or like our goals in general, our goals in life. Like I could go on and on. That's why I kind of wanted to start this podcast with one another, is because we get along so well. We talk about stuff outside of podcasting.
Yeah.
We're like, let's start a podcast because
we need it.
yeah, we could talk all day about stuff. We should kind of share this with the masses, just have everybody get to know us. So
yeah. And even before this, we're talking. We're like, save it for the podcast.
that's what we do. That's our thing. Save it for the podcast.
Yeah.
Or like we can't even talk at work anymore. We're like,
Right.
oh, we got to talk it on the podcast.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, that's generally I think why I'm so excited about this. Is just like our lives is so busy. Like we'll try to get together every now and then. Outside of work, obviously we see each other during work, but
Yeah.
our line of work is it comes and it goes, and what I mean by that is just like each day is so different and so new and like so hectic or non-hectic. It's another day of work, so we get kind of lost in the crossfire of like doing what we do, where we don't have time to like talk to each other unless, I don't know, we're like on break or something. But I think this is a good thing because we have so much in common.
Yeah.
It gives us time to just like build our friendship along. I mean, It gives us time to build our friendship, and it also gives us time just to like do this project together, tackle on this thing. There's something new for both of us.
Yeah.
Which I think could be,
and
down the line, very exciting.
Yeah. Hopefully motivates people, and hopefully, people are able to build up a community, not only around us, but around each other. About coffee and maybe just the science of coffee or how to brew at home, or it can lead to so many things. So I'm really excited. Excited to see where it takes us.
Yeah, me too.
Grind culture.
Yeah, we didn't even mention grind culture.
I guess we can kind of talk about where the name came up.
Yeah.
If you want to do the honor.
Yeah, grind culture is. We've been going back and forth, blueprinted some names, and we just. Grind culture to us, I mean, like my interpretation of it is grind culture means, not only do we grind coffee for a living,
right?
I think, like adding on to the fact that we try to try new things and we work hard at it and we try to perfect it. That's like a grind culture mentality,
right, in
itself. So I thought the name fit perfectly to like what you're about, what I'm about,
right,
what we actually do for like our careers and. That's what grind culture is to me.
Yeah, no, I say no less. I have nothing to add to that, so that's perfect.
Grind Culture Podcast is what we are. And again, I actually love that you said we hope that the people that are listening to us can build a community off of us.
Yeah.
Because that's what I think that's what maybe we didn't discuss is like it seems like we want to do this for us, but we also want to do it for like people out there that just want to give us time, like give us the time and let us talk, and they're willing to listen. So if we could build a community off of this, especially in the coffee world, which we know is big. We know it's big.
Yeah.
If we get our little name in there, I mean that's all the satisfactory for me.
Right. Yeah.
So
totally agree. And I guess just what people have to look forward to. Not only we're going to share everything that we just shared, but I think it's important that we talk about like just coffee experiences. Maybe just what's happening in the coffee world.
Yep.
What else do we want to share? Maybe we'll just have some like really cool guest speakers for you guys. Especially as we see as this grows on what everybody kind of wants out of this, other than just like what we want to talk about. Maybe we can have some like really cool guest speakers that can kind of put a little bit more knowledge into that subject. So that'd be really cool.
I think we have people in mind already. Shout out to Cameron being one of them. He's a good supporter, a good friend to both of us. So
good friend, another coffee professional.
Yeah, and then people that we work with, if they wanna hop on as like guests and just talk about our everyday lives and what we do here, I think that'd be a good thing. And maybe our family members too. We talked about having maybe Lindsay and Brittany on one day, or our kids one day if they're willing. So that's another thing. I know Colton had mentioned this. If there's any ideas or like anything that you guys are privy to as far as like what's going on in the coffee world or anything that you want to know about us, we're gonna have this on all platforms, I think, or at least try to YouTube, Apple, and whatever other ways you guys listen to podcasts.
Yeah.
And any of those, we'll try to keep up as far as like interacting with you guys. I think that's going to be like a very important part of our podcast is like the interaction, like I said, building a community. So anything you guys want to hear from us,
comment down below or above or on the side. I don't know where all
wherever,
the platforms hold all
wherever
the comment sections, but questions, what do you want to see, even just like inspirational message, for us to, start us out on our journey.
Anything.
Yeah, anything.
Where we'll be here for you guys. We don't really know how often we're going to put this out, but we're going to commit to this.
Commit once a week. We should have a new episode.
Yeah, so appreciate you guys listening to our pilot episode, and we hope that you guys check us out. Either subscribe to us or just follow us or whatever. We'll put our handles below us. And thank you guys for listening.
Thank you, and hope that you have a good week, and hope it's filled with really good coffee and good people in your life. And we love you guys, and thank you for the support.
Thank you guys. Peace.